So, final dungeon, huh? How bad?
I think I'll just let this cutscene speak for itself.
That sounds bad.
What are they?
Oh no! The gods! The ones they crafted the N Magnus with!
What? Ghost of the gods! This just gets better and better!
Ghosts.
Ghosts of the gods?
It seems we may have
Ghosts
more
of the
trouble than we
gods.
bargained for.
The great Mizuti be invincible.
Okay.
Utterly, totally. But not against ghosts. Not quite. Exception.
Don't worry. If we can hit them, we can defeat them.
You be sure?
Now, I'm not an expert here, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that if they're a ghost, you probably can't punch them.
I feel like there's a strong correlation there. But it bears further investigation.
Nothing.
Let's get a move on. We don't have time for ghost stories.
So do you remember that little sequence where we had to rescue all of our party members?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What if we did that again?
But they haven't been captured.
We will not lose this battle.
Right, well, we'll get back to that in a second. First we have these, dog chimera things?
I'm going with Griffin. I'm getting a Griffin vibe. And again, I don't know if they have wings or if they just have, like, really elaborate whisker situation.
Anyway, that's not really important. What's important is that Seal of Water has a 100% instant death rate.
Neat.
Now, obviously that gets modified based on the enemy's resistance, but, it's a nice thing to have.
I mean, that seems entirely preferable to, playing the game as presented. Really just a whole, you can engage with the bullshit, or you can bring your own bullshit kind of a deal. And that's one of my favourite kinds of game design. I can only assume there's at least some kind of balance on that to stop you from spamming it continuously for the rest of all the mobs.
Not in the slightest. Some of the mobs are more resistant than others, but nothing's immune to it.
Well then. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess if there ever was a time to break out a gimmick like that, it would be at, the final dungeon. Also, can we take a moment to admire Sakuraba cutting loose?
Oh yeah, no, if you were wondering, I guess some of the battle themes have been pretty Sakuraba, but if you were wondering where the Sakuraba was, it's here. It's here in Core Hydra.
I mean, I for one was not wondering. I cannot stress enough how little ambiguity there was in any of that situation.
Anyway, these angel dudes are notable solely for the fact that they attack twice per turn.
I was kind of starting to wonder if the fact that this is about the time where you can start breaking out the extremely broken instant death stuff might have being some kind of occasion for the game to break out even more bullshit against you, maybe?
I mean, they don't do much with it. They do like a 3-hit combo for about 500 damage, unless they're very close to death. But, yeah, they do attack twice. It's not nothing.
Well, that seems... yeah.
Yeah, so relish this blue save flower. It's the last one in the game. I mean, I guess technically you could theoretically leave and go back out, but why? Why would you?
I mean, maybe you've run out the 2-week clock, wasted enough real time. Maybe you've remembered a side quest. I don't know, there's no accounting for taste. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah, now, also, I cannot stress enough how much I am going to abuse the shit out of Seal of Water in this dungeon.
It's highly understandable. I mean, morally, I don't even term it abuse.
Anyway, if you were wondering where the dungeon design was, it's also here in Core Hydra.
Aha.
So, first up on the menu, we have a decoupled teleporter maze.
Fuck all things. Like, this is one of those things that we just need an international court of game design, and this should be one of their highest crimes. If you do this, you get shot. You can have a summary trial if we must, but the evidence is overwhelming and unambiguous.
In addition to the obvious problem directly in front of us, in each wing of the castle, there is a button. And when you press this button, it will spawn a chest in a different wing of the castle.
Incredible.
And yes, this means that you will be forced to backtrack to every single wing.
Including this one, with a decoupled teleport maze.
Yes, in fact, that little red teleporter on the left-hand side where that chest was, we can't access that. That's what the switch activates in one of the other wings. Do you know what's in that chest?
I mean, no, but I'm going to assume that it's something that we extremely want.
It's Callus's best finisher.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, can we take a moment to briefly ensure that all of our viewers know what we mean by a decoupled teleport maze? Because I feel like that's an important distinction.
Ah, yes. So a decoupled teleport maze is different from a regular teleport maze because in a standard teleport maze, your in and out are linked, right? So if you go in one teleporter, you will come out the other and vice versa. A decoupled teleporter maze breaks that link. And in fact, it is required to do so to clear the maze. You will have to leave and then go right back into the teleporter you came out of to go somewhere different.
See, it's very important that at least one person in every Let's Play setup is able to explain these things without deferring to the terminology of computer science and graphing theory, because that's where I would have gone. But that's like explaining magic by reference to magic. Doesn't really get a lot of people anywhere. But yes, it turns out it's complete hell. It's just trial and error, times a million. Why aren't you enjoying this? It was a rhetorical question. I know exactly why you aren't enjoying this.
Now, at least, given that this is the final dungeon, basically everything is worth picking up. You know, you're getting top level armor, you're getting top level... Like, there is no reason not to get every single chest that you see. That is, of course, also the problem.
Yep. I mean, it makes a nice change from having all the pickups just be another 1,000,001 healing items that you'll never use, or like you could have just bought in the shop anyway. You gotta have the good equips in there. Otherwise, well, there's no point. And yet, what if a point, but too much? We really played ourselves on that one.
Anyway, we'll just take a second to upgrade our equipment before we head in to this first of the sibling god fights. Because, of course, we are going to fight every single one of them, and it is going to be a great time that everybody's gonna love.
I can feel the enthusiasm from you. This must be just a stellar piece of game design coming up. I expect wonders.
Incidentally, this is also why I've just been constantly buying up all of, like, the little health items every shop we go in. Because, you know, obviously, given that we are in the final dungeon, the only way we have to heal ourselves is to basically go to the church and level up. So if you can't level up, you can't heal, other than in battle.
Okay, so I know I was harping on some kind of implied abomination that we were walking into, but... Well, okay, for a second there I thought they were going to persist the dungeon music into the battle, and I thought that would have been extremely hype, but actually I'm incredibly let down, so you know what, fuck you.
So, I don't even know which one this is. This might be Sibling God Ba? I don't fucking know.
Does it matter?
Yes, it does matter, because in one of the only cute touches in this entire section, each of the gods has like this fire burning where they should have a body part, because that's where they took the part of Malpersio from.
Neat.
It's more obvious when you get to like the god, the R god and the Lay god.
Yeah, I mean this is like this guy could just, you know, have fire instead of a chest. That's basically just Rayman. That's not notable at all.
Anyway, this one is the water element.
So yeah, don't think I didn't notice that death resistance bonus popping up. That must be a fun time.
I think that's just like one of the inherent pieces of resistances on one of my pieces of armor. But yeah, so each one has an element. They are completely immune to that element, and they have a finisher that does the thing from that element. And that's it. That's the entire fight.
Man, it's not even interesting.
I mean, they have like one interesting thing one singular thing that I will give them. And it's not even interesting, per se, it's just kind of a pain in the ass.
Right. Interesting. It's morally interesting. There was, an attempt. An attempt at being interesting.
I mean, we fought worse. I'll put it that way. There are bosses in this game that have nothing interesting about them.
I mean, on the one hand, that's a valid comparison, but on the other hand, that comparison feels kind of meaningless when we've we've had the straight RNG competition bosses.
Anyway, this is it, by the way. He will occasionally, like, cast Seal of Sanity to give you confusion, and then he will specifically attack that person now that your numbers are fucked up. That's it. That's his gimmick.
Huh.
Let's make this quick. I'm hungry.
I mean, that's almost interesting.
Too late to say you're sorry.
I can kind of see what you were going for with that one. And I thought it would have been something like he casts confusion on you and then starts casting buffs on you or something.
He also, each of them also have a one-time heal for 2100 damage. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not, again, those numbers are not that impressive at this point.
And it's just more health. Like, it's just a slightly obfuscated way of giving them more health. Is it, like, do you have a meaningful chance of being able to kill him before he uses it? Because if not, then it's just more health.
Yeah, no, he uses it at
thought
about the point at which he goes into the low health phase, he will automatically use it.
Man.
Anyway, yeah, that's it. So that's literally every single one of these fights, except replace the water finisher with the fire finisher, or the light finisher.
And presumably the dungeon prelude with a completely different dungeon prelude.
And then, of course, now we're going to have to walk all the way back.
Like, all told, it's pretty Capcom, isn't it? I can't remember a great deal about Capcom stuff in specifically 2003, but eventually they came to be kind of synonymous with this final dungeon gimmick. Here you go, Artix. Here's a free opportunity to complain a bit more about Okami.
I don't particularly feel that Okami has a lot to do with this game.
I mean, specifically about Capcom and Final Dungeon.
I'm gonna be real with you, I don't remember a fucking thing about Okami's final dungeon.
Oh, well. It's basically, they give you a thing and you explore it a bit, and then you fight all the notable bosses again.
Oh, yeah, I do remember it now, yeah.
I mean, that's probably why you don't remember it. You probably do remember it, except that you don't remember those things being from that. You remember them being from the, like, 5 fucking bosses that they rehashed.
Oh yeah, because you fight the bosses like 8 fucking times.
I mean, it does that anyway. It just happens to also totally independently of the Capcom Final Dungeon tradition be the case in that game that you fight Orochi, like, a bunch of times. It's video games within video games over there. Well, there's that teleport chest.
Yeah, some of these wings are more interesting than others. We are thankful for the ones that are not.
I mean, that's quite a thing, right? To have reached a point where, like, wow, thank God, this wing is pretty boring. Like, I'll take it, but,
Anyway, we should see Liud's new heavy artillery now that we have the chance.
I looked for it, but it didn't look like this guy has a different missing body part from the last one, although maybe it's just because they're both in the middle of him. Wow, I mean, I didn't know that magical trumpet Gatling gun was a thing that was missing from my life until now.
Too close.
That's a hell of a thing.
Yeah? Yeah, I like Liud's finishers a lot, even though most of them are stupid as fuck. The man alternates between that and, like, just literally just jumping over and beating the shit out of them with his gun.
There's something to be said for the right stupid as fuck thing at the right time. Sometimes stupid as fuck is exactly what you need. Also, there is one thing worse than simply a decoupled teleport maze, although thankfully they're even rarer. And that's a teleport maze with contrived arbitrary logic conditions, where going back through things in a certain order changes what the things will do, rather than just each one having a set non-linear destination. You can write that one down. Somebody used that in a game, I don't care. Let chaos reign.
I cannot believe that you would do this to me. How dare you? Do not wish this evil upon the world.
I'm giving them ideas.